Welcome into Steelers Talk. I'm your host, Jack Sperry. Today, it is the mailbag. I am taking your questions on the black and gold as we approach the second week of Steelers OTA practices in Pittsburgh. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Join the most interactive Steelers fan community anywhere on YouTube. We go live for every single Steelers game, or we have the largest Steelers watch parties anywhere on the YouTube platform. We also go live Mondays and Thursdays during the off seasons to go live and talk about the Steelers and what they're doing. And then we also have daily videos on this channel where you guys can interact in the comment section with all different types of Steelers fans around the world. So if you want to join the most interactive fan community for Yinzers anywhere in the world, go ahead and click that subscribe button right now. We'll start today's mailbag with a $5 super chat from my man Metchie. Says what the Steelers should do is trade for a wide receiver and then trade for a quarterback, and let's forget about Rodgers. It's not going to happen. Well, I mean, Rodgers certainly is putting out a lot of indicators that it is going to happen. He even said in a public Q&A last week that, there's a team that plays in Chicago on the road. And in that same Q&A, he said, I'm not going to the Saints. Like, he made it abundantly clear which teams he's not going to, and he was very coy when people asked him about the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I think he's going to sign there. I just think he doesn't want to sign during voluntary workouts because he doesn't want to attend them. He's a 41-year-old quarterback. He feels like he doesn't need to be at OTAs. And by the way, Cam Hayward agrees with him. He said, everybody makes, OTAs out to be the super important thing that everybody has to attend if you want to win. And that's just not the case. Certain people have some personal things in their life going on. That's certainly the case with Aaron Rodgers. Apparently he has some people in his life that are dealing with cancer. And, it certainly seems like the team expects him to be there for mandatory minicamp. And a lot of the reporters, Schefter, Pelissero, Rappaport, they seem to think the same thing, that he will sign before mandatory minicamp, which starts on June 10th. So what I'll say right now is absolutely go out and get another receiver. But I would not give up on Aaron Rodgers, at least not at this point. Then we got to Ali the Reaper here. Says, what do you think of us trading for Metchie? Listen, man, there's other receivers that I would rather have. I'm going to be completely straight with you, Ali. I would rather have Romeo Doubs from the Green Bay Packers. I would even rather sign Amari Cooper and Keenan Allen. I still think that those guys have some juice left in the tank. I think that Cooper, suffered a lot of drops because he had a thumb injury last year with Cleveland, and once he got more healthy, his drop rate went down significantly when he went to Buffalo, and he's still a really good route runner. That's certainly something the Steelers could use. So, Metchie, if you can't get Cooper, if you can't get Allen, if you can't get Dobbs, if you can't get some of the bigger name type of trade targets or free agency targets, then Metchie is somebody I would think about. He's a good run blocker, good route runner, solid hands. I think that he fits kind of the Z position that the Steelers are trying to fill on the other side of DK Metcalf, and I think you can get him for 6th or maybe even a 7th round pick. So, yeah, I think Metchie should be on the Steelers' radar, but I don't think he should be their number one guy at this point in time. So predict it for me down there in the comment section. Will Pittsburgh add another receiver before the start of the season? It certainly seems like they're trying to. Let me know what you guys think. Yes or no? Down there in the comment section for today's pinned question. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And when that happens, take advantage of that time. But give me a yes or a no down there in the comments. We got one from Kevin Reed here. Says, if you could compare Roman Wilson with any receiver in Steelers history, who would it be and why? Well, I'll tell you who he reminds me of in NFL history, and that's Randall Cobb. Randall was somebody that had really good acceleration, and he was a good route runner from the slot, but he was kind of a slot-only type of weapon and, undersized, all these different things. Couldn't play on the outside, couldn't play against press. But for what he was a really, really good slot receiver with really solid hands. And that's what I see when I see Roman Wilson, man. Slot technician, great acceleration, really good on crossers, and he's got really natural hands for a smaller receiver. Also brings the right mentality to the pitch every single game day in terms of run blocking. His philosophy, he said this when he got drafted, was no rock, no block, or no block, no rock was what he said. So I think Roman Wilson, somebody that's going to bring the right mentality and attitude to the Steelers every single day. And with Aaron Rodgers coming in, obviously he had a lot of success, or potentially coming in, with Randall Cobb. So I think that Roman Wilson is the type of receiver that could build a very early chemistry with Aaron Rodgers in his time here in Pittsburgh. That is if he signs. Then we got Pittsburgh Dad Jr. What's up, my man? Says, do you honestly believe that Howard could be the franchise QB? Probably not, if I'm being honest with you, Pittsburgh Dad. Do I think he's got some starter quality tools at his disposal? Absolutely. He's got some good size. He's a plus athlete. He can run with some power. He's got decent arm strength when he can grip it and rip it. And he played his best football towards the end of his college career in the college football playoff, but he's got a long way to go. I don't think he's going to be ready to play right away, and honestly, I'm not sure if he'll be ready to play in his first year when he would really need to prove himself as the franchise quarterback, because the Steelers are going to be taking a quarterback early in the NFL draft next year. So I would put the chances of him being the franchise quarterback extremely, extremely low. Just as a sixth-round pick, the odds just aren't in his favor. I'm rooting for the kid. He's a very likable guy, and he seems like a hard worker, and I really do hope that the best for him, because the best for him means the best for the Steelers. But if I'm being realistic about it, I don't see him being the next franchise quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, before we get to the rest of your questions this week, make sure you guys check our friends out at Fanatics right now. When you use our link, chatsports.com/DK, you can pick up a DK Metcalf jersey for yourself today. He's going to be wearing the number 4. He is locked up for the long term, and the Steelers are very excited about having him in this offense. I am as well. So if you agree with me, and if you agree with the Steelers about your excitement surrounding DK Metcalf, go to chatsports.com/DK to lock this jersey up in your closet today. Got one from Rad Swag. Says, with the reports of the Steelers communicating with multiple teams for a new playmaker, who do you hope they end up getting, if anyone? For what price? I think Jonnu and Amari Cooper is smart. Yeah, man. I don't want to give away too many draft picks, right? Because one of the great things about the 2026 draft right now is you got a ton of draft capital to build up, your coffers when it comes to young talent next year. So I don't want to give away too many draft picks. I would be willing to give up a late draft pick for Jonnu Smith just because of the versatility that it could bring to your offense, pairing him up with Pat Freiermuth. In Arthur Smith's 12 and 13 personnel-heavy offense, I think would be something that's good. Now, another element to the Jonnu Smith situation is his contract. How much money is he asking for, and does that make sense for the Steelers? That's a whole other discussion. But from a pure football perspective, I think Smith would be an excellent addition to the Steelers team. And then if you get Amari Cooper, who's a big body, he's not really known as a run blocker. He's definitely not given a ton of effort as a run blocker, which might not mesh well with Arthur Smith's philosophies. But if you're looking for a true route runner that can change directions on a dime, can absolutely separate versus man coverage still at his size, Amari Cooper can still get that done for you as a number 2 receiver. That is an absolute awesome thing there for the Steelers. Then we got Raymond. Says, we don't have anybody as accurate as Aaron Rodgers. He is uninjured with the talent we have on the field. I think 14 wins, and if it is a mixed bag between Rodgers and Rudolph, and 12 wins. So, listen, man, 14 wins, that's like number 1 seed in the AFC over teams like the Bills, Ravens, Chiefs, other teams like that. Listen, man, as long as TJ Watt's healthy, the Steelers can win any game that they play. And with Aaron Rodgers on the field, with the way that he protects the football, he's got still really good arm talent, especially if the run game can get going, because that was really the missing ingredient for the Steelers offense last year. They couldn't run the football when they really, really wanted to. If they can do that this year, that's going to completely change this football team into, in my opinion, a legit title contender with Rodgers on the team. Now, can they get up to 14 wins? I mean, I would love it. I would kind of doubt it if I'm being honest with you. I'm looking more at 11 or 12 wins, maybe 13 if everything falls into place. But absolutely, I think with Aaron Rodgers, this team will be a double-digit win team, and they will make the playoffs yet again. And that is my firm belief. So let me know down there in the comment section, how many games will the Pittsburgh Steelers win this year? I think with Rodgers, you can win 10 or 11, maybe 12. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. With that, that'll end this week's mailbag here on Steelers Talk. So make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already. We really do appreciate all of your guys' support.